Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. In order to give your wife some space to relax, you take your children to the beach. However, later you learn that she used that opportunity to meet up with another man behind your back. It's time we listen to the story. Also, if you like what I do, please give this video a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel.
Just to give context, wife and I have been together 10 years. We have 2 kids, 7 and 4. 2 weeks ago, I took my kids to the beach so my wife could have a break. While I was there, I found out she visited a guy she works with. The worst part was she told me she was visiting a friend and she would be out of phone range. Now, I had seen the signs and had talked to her a week prior to this, that I felt we were growing apart, that she had been spending time away from us and making plans without us included, and my fear was she was seeing someone else. She assured me that, yeah, we have problems, but she would never do that. Within 5 days of that conversation, I caught her at his house. Note, he is also married with kids, and his wife and kids were away as well.
Since finding out they have talked, and OP now knows she's not sure she wants to be with him.
And she has only admitted to what I've caught her doing, them chatting at work over a messenger system and the text, which she then deletes. Basically, an emotional affair, but to me that doesn't add up. Anyway, I've now asked her to leave to figure out what she wants. The issue with this is she is bringing up a lot of issues about me and why she doesn't feel she loves me anymore. Basically, the cheating has been swept under the rug a little. Blame shifting, I think people call it. She is also hesitant to call what she did is actually cheating. Should I confront this issue head on, explain that this is not my fault and my issues are not the problem right now? I tried to address it before I caught her, but that wasn't enough. And if she can't take responsibility and be there for me, then that is it? Or am I simplifying this too much? Is this something that needs to be worked on together and both hers and my concerns need to be addressed equally? I should have mentioned, I do want to work this out. We have a life worth fighting for. At least, I think so. I'm in a lot of pain. It is 4 a.m. right now, and I've been awake since 1 a.m. Thankfully, I have my kids right now. Knowing there are others on here going through this does help that we aren't alone.
Now, here is the update.
So, it has been maybe a month or more since I caught my wife. So, what has happened? Well, the day I posted, I went to tell the other wife that her husband was having an affair with my wife. Unfortunately, she was not home. I left, and shortly after, my wife called me. I won't go through the details. It was a rough conversation, both angry and upset. I eventually told her we needed to tell the other couple, or I would. She then agreed to meet at home to discuss it all, and I found out during that conversation she told the other guy what I was going to do. So, we had a good chat. I put her in a position where she had to tell me everything. Basically, I knew how she could prove what she was saying was true. We agreed to work on the marriage, and she would come clean.
She told OP that she needed to sleep on it and would tell him the next day.
We had been talking for 3 hours, and kids were due home. Next day rolls around, and she has done a complete backflip, ends the marriage. Why? Well, turns out the other guy told his wife and was kicked out. No contact with kids, all over, what I've been told. Clearly, they had been chatting over that 24-hour period. This was my lowest point. I was blamed for everything, ending the other couple's marriage, that I wasn't there for her, and so on. The good news is I have rebuilt from there. I no longer carry any guilt or shame. I've also made the decision not to leave the family home until we have a formal legal agreement. Same goes for custody. Legally, I am in a good spot. Won't say any more.
They are working through the separation and will be telling the kids soon.
Mentally, I am doing really well. Climbed out of that valley. Back to training, getting really fit, eating well, and enjoying the little things. Wife is still a mess, but not my problem, as long as she is fine with the kids.
Well, OP, great job handling this. Great to hear you are working on yourself and are moving past this bad period. You saw how she had your back in this situation. Don't forget that when she comes back wanting to reconcile after her AP flips on her. Don't forget it. You'll be fine. She made her bed and now she's going to sleep in it. Get yourself defended legally before dealing with the house, but you should not be the one to move. Good luck, OP. End of the first story. We have another story coming up next, but before that, if you're liking what you heard so far, please give this video a thumbs up so this video will reach more and more beautiful people like you around the world. The second story is titled, After Leaving Me for Another Man, My Wife is Now Having Trouble.
My wife and I have been married for 9 years, and we have a 7-year-old daughter. I'm 35 and wife is 34. At the end of last year, she had a coworker quit after working together for 5 years, and she told him to keep in touch. She has told me in the past that he used to ask her out, and while at work, they would send memes and jokes back and forth to each other via email and such. I would say they had a friendly work relationship. He's the kind of person that would send notes, write notes, and such to her almost every day. I'm not one to be too jealous. She has been respectful to me, always telling me what's going on. Normally, she gets hit on by a lot of men at work and wherever she goes. I never get too worried about it because my wife is very beautiful and looks much younger than her age. She always tells other men that she's married and has a child.
Back in February, she told me she had been texting a former co-worker just to see what he's been up to and to catch up.
I thought nothing of it. Fast forward to a few days ago, I checked the phone bill and noticed that from February to April, there had been at least 10,000, yes, 10,000 texts sent between the two. I was in shock and a little upset. I then checked the time logs for the texts and would see that he would be texting her pretty much every single hour of the day, sometimes sending 10 to 20 per hour. I really don't know what man has the time to do that. I work 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, and barely have time for myself. He is a divorced man with 2 teen daughters. He lives at home at his parents' house. I know a lot of people are still in quarantine due to COVID-19, but wow, he must have a lot of time on his hands. I confronted my wife about this a few days ago, and she told me she was shocked and didn't realize it was that much. Haha, really? I then told her that there has to be some boundaries. I didn't want them texting each other anymore, and this has to stop. I said that a man shouldn't be texting a married woman this much. She agreed, but I can tell by her body language she wasn't too happy about it.
OP told her that he would be monitoring the phone bill every once in a while.
Do you guys think I am wrong and just too jealous? I have a gut feeling that this may have or is going to turn into something more later on if I didn't intervene. I do know the guy. I've met him before at one of the Christmas parties at her workplace. I remember spending at least an hour or two talking to him about sports.
Now here is the first update.
She won't stop her emotional affair with the other man. I will not accept that behavior and will be proceeding with divorce. I do not need this in my life. I do not need a woman like this. She wants to leave our relationship and marriage to be with him. She says he fills her emotionally and wants to pursue him. They were planning on getting physical right before I found out. I won't argue with a person that doesn't want to be with me and plans on being unfaithful to me. All I can do is let her go. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and consult an attorney. We'll be prepared for a hard, difficult uphill battle.
Now, here is the last update.
It's been 3 weeks since she moved out to live with her sister. We are currently in the process of divorce. I have not seen or heard from her since, nor has she ever once asked about our daughter. Honestly, it really hurts that we are going through this. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and think that it was a horrible nightmare. I also started a new career this week. Higher pay, more vacations, more time with family. Sometimes I wish this all never happened. I want to tell her about all the things in my new office, my new coworkers, and overall how better my work life is. I know she doesn't care about us, nor should I care about a person that doesn't love us anymore.
OP says that he never knew a person once he loved could be this heartless.
I have a great family that supports my decision on letting her go. I've never been a fan on cheaters. She's never brought up the idea of reconciliation or stopping her relationship with this man. Her parents and brothers love me to pieces, and they don't want to lose me as a son-in-law. Today, I found out she has to move out of her sister's apartment, and she's been calling around town to find one. From what I heard, she is not having any luck finding a place to live. Is it too soon to say karma is catching up to her? As for the apartment, I suppose he can't, won't, or didn't offer her any help? I don't know, nor do I care. She chose this route. I'm just going my own way.
Well, OP, out the cheaters publicly. No wonder he's divorced. Like so many that are serial cheaters, they don't suffer any consequences for their poor decisions. They like the attention, just give it to them. This type of men hits on all the ladies looking for that one in every 10 that will fall for his BS. He meets their emotional needs until his conquest is over and he's on to the next. The hardest part is realizing your spouse only cares about herself and doesn't even give a moment to care about you. Even after being found out, she chose herself despite you having a daughter together. Focus on you and your daughter. I wish you all the best. Now, before we go, let's listen to a few comments by the beautiful community.
My Luck is Many says, one day your wife will realize what she has thrown away. I would have seriously contacted the other guy. Well, I hope your wife is now happy with this outcome. No husband, no daughter, no house, and maybe no AP, but does have a love for her phone and sending and receiving 100,000 messages. That's insane. Did she ever admit to being physical with the other guy? I wish you and your daughter all the very best for the future. OP's reply, I have no need to contact the other guy. If my wife would have been trustworthy and faithful, she wouldn't have let it gone that far. I'm the better man. Yes, I know she'll regret it one day, but that's on her. She said she was close to getting physical with him. I can only focus on what I can control. That's myself and my daughter for the time being. Brian MCG 321 says, how have you been doing so far? OP's reply, been doing well. She is pretty much out of my life and mind. I no longer think about her. Now, I'm glad this happened now versus later. Been on a few dates with other women. Had a great July 4th weekend with family and friends. She did text me Friday night asking me how I was doing. I ignored her text. Omari86 says, I hope this woman's financial life is over. OP's reply, all I can do is keep her out of my life. If she ever chooses to be a part of our daughter's life, I'm okay with that. I'm sure she is extremely happy with her life right now. I just wish her the best. AE then V says, sounds like this is just the start of the karma. Stay strong and focus on the happiness of you and your daughter. You both deserve better. I'd also make sure you have the custody arrangements formalized legally. When karma does hit, she may contest the custody and cause trouble, and your daughter doesn't deserve that sort of instability. Wishing you the best. OP's reply, yep, got my lawyer already in the process. The Backdoor Bandito says, doesn't feel like it now, but you are going on the best direction. I'm proud of you. Time will be your friend with this. One day you will either find the right partner that is zero BS, or be at a stage where women coming and going does nothing to your strong mind and heart. OP's reply, let's hope so. Some days I do feel bad and want her back so much, but I know the right thing is to keep going forward. Cream of Sumyun Guy says, brother, this is the best time for NC and 180. The earlier you start with NC and 180, the earlier you recover. And teach your mind to become averse to thoughts of her. Difficult at first, but becomes second nature after a while. 2 weeks or so in my experience. Stop with the karma mentality. If she turns out fine, then you get upset again. Mind your dignity. That's the most important thing you have right now.
Thank you all for listening. Please like, comment and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.